welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to ReelTime RoundTable. We have a full show for you here today. We're starting off on a brand new day on Mondays at 5 o'clock. We will be talking Beetlejuice. Dune Rider will be doing a sci-fi live action with Leica. We're doing the Wolfman and Minecraft trailer reactions. And lastly, Anya Taylor-Joy wants to play a character for a live action. But we also have sad news to get to at the top of the show. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to ReelTime RoundTable, where we give you the best Hollywood-related news here on YouTube. I am, of course, your host, Josh Williams.
I'm Nolan.
Isaiah.
I'm Addie.
You know these people. They were here last time. I wanted to bring, the ones who are usually on quite often. As you can tell, my partner in crime, the best host out of the two of us. Jordan is not here with us. She's actually here, though technically she's right there. We can't get a camera on her, but she's there on the floor. She's got a sore throat. She's not really up to talking, but she'll give us her thoughts, I'm sure, with her little whiteboard she's got going on there. So before we get into our show, guys, we have some really tragic news that Nolan just broke to me, and I'm still unbelieving of it. But just today, James Earl Jones died, age 93. Of course, everybody knew him as Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader, but he also was Mufasa. He was in a bunch of other films too. I mean, I also know him from Sandlot. He was the guy who owned Hercules, and he was just a big part of my life. I don't know, Addie, I know you didn't have much there, but to me, he's like an icon as far as our pop culture is concerned. Mm-hmm. But how are you guys feeling about this news right now?
Yeah, I saw it. Actually, my teacher was showing some stuff on YouTube, and there was like a CNN breaking news thumbnail. It was like 4 minutes ago, James Earl Jones dead at 93, and I was like, oh, great. That's awesome. Day's not ruined or anything. But, yeah, no, it sucks. I mean, I definitely grew up doing Darth Vader impressions with like my friends and stuff, so he was a big part of my life too. It's sad. Nothing else to say. It's just sad. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where you know about someone. Like I've heard his voice in so many different things, and it was just like, oh yeah, that's the guy. Like he's just always he's just always there. And Star Wars was a huge part of growing up, and of course like The Lion King, another huge movie for me. Mm-hmm. And also like Coming to America, I forgot he was in that.
Yes,
but I love Eddie Murphy, and I love that movie. It's one of my favorite comedies ever. And like my dad's side, Star Wars, my mom's side, she loved Eddie Murphy. So both my parents loved him. So
yeah, I mean, I grew up on Lion King and of course Star Wars. I grew up on everything of that nature, and so he was just a big part of kind of what got me into films, especially because if you hear his voice, you know it automatically. You know his face, and it's just kind of a sad moment for Hollywood. They're losing quite an icon. I mean, it's kind of like losing, almost to me, kind of losing Robin Williams in the same sense. Just kind of one of those huge, larger-than-life actors. He will be forever missed. Rest in peace. Since we just found out this today, we're still gonna probably do a video package for him at the start of the show next week, just to kind of honor his legacy. So look forward to that for next week's show. All right, guys, let's get to the fun stuff. Try to lift our spirits a little bit today. Let's start off with the first topic of today, guys. Beetlejuice just released this past weekend, and it was a hit at the box office. According to the Associated Press, it made $110 million this weekend, which is big for this franchise, especially given the fact that I believe it was on. I'll double check the budget on it, but I'm pretty sure it pretty much made back its budget and more this opening weekend. And on the aggregate score, 76% on Rotten Tomatoes, 86% for audiences rating, and then also Cinema Score gave it a B+, if I stand corrected. I will get in I'm pretty sure I'm the only one on this panel who watched it.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
You go ahead and get to it. I'll double check the budget for you real quick, but what did you think of it? And I'll give my thoughts.
I thought it was a ton of fun. I saw the first one when I was 10, and it scared the crap out of me. I probably should watch it again. I don't remember the first one well enough to have it as a basis of comparison. But for this movie on its own, I just thought it was super fun. It flew by. I think it was like almost 2 hours exactly, right?
Yep.
And it felt like 30 minutes. So it was, Yeah, I just really loved it. There was a few moments where I like laughed out loud. There's like one Beetlejuice quote that I can't say on this.
Yeah.
That I just kept thinking about it. I thought it was really great. The beginning, it kind of didn't really drag me in immediately. There was just a lot of character introductions and stuff, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't really love this. And then as it kept going, I was like, no, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really great. I don't think it's, it's not going to win any Oscars or anything, but who cares? It's a great time, and I think people should see it.
It was, sorry, and I was misremembering. It is on a $100 million budget, but on top of the $110 million made domestically, it made $147 million worldwide. So
Good.
I mean, if you
Good.
account for its advertising, it's going to make its money back and more. Which begs the question if there might be a sequel. But based on this, you guys, let's start with you, Isaiah. Like hearing all this news, how much success it's having. How are you feeling about the franchise and like your excitement to maybe go check it out soon?
Yeah, I watched the first Beetlejuice pretty late. I actually just watched it maybe in the last 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why, and I feel like I did miss kind of a charm about it because I watched it so late. I still liked it. I still enjoyed it, but I feel like there's some movies where you have to see it at that time to really get that full impact. Like I watched The Goonies as well, way too late. I watched that like 2 years ago.
That is my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, and I love The Goonies, but also like there's that special charm that I feel like I couldn't get from it. So that's how I feel with the Beetlejuice movie, and that's why it wasn't like, I was like, that looks fun for people who love Beetlejuice, and obviously they brought Winona Ryder back, everyone came back, but I didn't have that attraction to it to be like, oh, I need to see this now kind of thing. So I feel like I will see it eventually, but I just am not like super excited about it.
What gave me a little bit of happiness too is the fact that it made so much money. I honestly, I was going into it thinking it wasn't going to even, make like maybe like 70 million. You know what I'm saying? But to see it, that there's still an interest in it from the original franchise because it was made back in the 80s. I mean, that's a good sign. I guess you could possibly seeing Michael Keaton return to some of these older roles he had. But Addie, I mean, you've seen the original.
Oh yeah.
Are you a fan of the franchise? Like, were you happy? Like, how are you feeling about all this news as well?
So at first, this sounds terrible, but I was disappointed to hear at first that they were making a second one because I was like, again with the sequels, come on, like we don't need a sequel.
I forgot your thoughts on sequels.
And because the first one is perfect. Why do you need to make a second one? There's not really a lot of reason, but I have heard a lot of good things about it. No, I was kind of in the same boat as you, Nolan. I watched Beetlejuice at a really young age. And then I was like, I can't watch this because it was so scary. But then it was like, because it was so scary, it piqued my interest as I got older. So a lot of the time I would just use it as background noise, one of those background movies to just like do stuff with. So I'm really excited to go and see it because I saw in the trailer a lot of like practical effects used, and I was like, yes, finally we're getting back to this.
That was one of the
really good.
That was one of the charms of the original, was all the practical effects.
Yes.
And then of course they used some stuff for the sand dune section, sandworms and stuff. They had to.
I go to the Dune section too.
Yeah. But so for me, I enjoyed it as well. I will say it did start off. It didn't get going as well as it could have.
Yeah.
And I get it. You got to reintroduce the characters. You got to introduce Jenna Ortega's character. All this stuff. You got to address why the Maitlands aren't there. You got to, And that was one part I did have a problem with. They did give you an explanation. For me, I was like, they were like the integral part of the first movie that you should have addressed it more. And I get it. Yeah. They're older, whatever. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. Yeah. And if you had to, you would have had to like do the de-aging stuff. And I don't know if that was in their budget. But anyway, that part disappointed me. But once Michael Keaton got going as Beetlejuice, I was like, I just don't care anymore because this is amazing. Yeah. So I mean, I will say first act was rough. Second and third, I had so much fun. Like you said, it went by. The first part did go a little slow for me, but after that, it just flew by. And Jenna Ortega actually did a pretty good job. I am also just worried. I'm wanting to gauge your thoughts on this, everybody, and then we'll get our scores, Nolan, and we'll move on. But are you at all? I am worried, and I'm worried if you guys are worried if Jenna Ortega is starting to get pigeonholed.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I don't think that's a good thing because I think her skills as an actress is far beyond that, and she should be. I mean, maybe it's because she wants to do the stuff. Who knows? Maybe she wants to do these things. I don't know, but she's sticking to these in a certain realm. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Patty or Isaac?
I mean, I'm one of those people who have been very like averse to Jenna Ortega. I've been kind of,
I loved her in Scream.
Yeah, a lot of people. I watched Scream with Addie, and I actually really liked her in that. I thought she did a good job as the sister in that. But I've seen a lot of other stuff she was in. I just wasn't really impressed. And I wonder if that's because she has been kind of stuck in these kind of very similar roles where maybe if she was in something else, that would be like, okay, that impressed me. I can see her possibility as an actor. But right now, it's like it all feels very samey to me and very unimpressive. Yeah. She does a fine job. It's fine. But I don't get like people's love for her as much as other actors who I feel like have done a great job, multiple different genres.
Daddy.
I do definitely agree with that because like after I haven't seen the Wednesday show, I've heard mixed reviews on that. But right after doing Wednesday and then going to Beetlejuice, I was like, of course, of course they would because I guess she's now kind of like a Scream queen, but I don't even know if that like they just keep casting her as like the same role.
It's like, almost like Winona Ryder's footsteps in a weird fashion, and that's cool and all, but you guys have seen Scream. I feel like Jenna Ortega, in a dramatic sense, did a great job in that, and I feel like she should branch off and do something like indie dramatic role to really flesh out her acting skills, like to spread how good she can show to be as an actor, which I know she can do. I don't know. I've been worried about that ever since this was announced, and she still did a great job. I mean, she did fine, and but just I worry that she's going to keep getting put into those roles where she can't really do much of anything else. But Nolan, do you have something to add to that?
Ooh, I was just going to say, like, she's got every right. If she just likes horror movies and just wants to be in horror movies, she's got every right to.
Yeah.
But it is just kind of everything I've seen her in. She's just that character where she's weird and she's not like anyone else, but she's also the most normal person, which is kind of a weird, little weird dynamic that she has. But she always has it, and like she does a good job. But it's like my third or fourth time seeing it, and it's just not that different. But I do think that she could be really great in other things. As for the movie as a whole. I would say, honestly, like her subplots, they were very necessary, but they were kind of my least favorite part.
Yeah, I agree.
They were kind of. I feel like they were pretty predictable, and like.
There's nothing wrong with movie cliches and movie tropes as long as they're done right. And this one, they kind of fell through a little. I feel.
Yeah, and I feel like in a different movie it could have worked. Yeah. It's just that like when it's. You could either be showing me Winona Ryder or Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, and instead you're showing me this kind of cliche teen romance thing. I don't want to see that. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, the movie was super fun, and I know I keep saying that. I just feel like there's not really another way to
really how I felt too.
It's just kind of what it is.
I had a fun time.
Yeah, that was
it wasn't
great.
anything like, oh my god, it was incredible, but I had a great time. I'd probably give it like at least 7 out of 10.
That's what I was gonna say, like 6 or 7, that range. I wouldn't call it like the best movie ever. I wouldn't call it the best movie of the year. I would just say go see it.
Go see it. It's a good time at the theater. I'm open to a sequel. I mean, it's probably going to make the money to even the studio. If it makes enough money, the studio's going to probably greenlit a sequel.
Yeah.
Some way. But yeah, what did you guys think of Beetlejuice? If you have seen it, leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys, let's move on to some movie trailers. Let's start off with Wolfman. Wolfman just got released last week. It's a teaser trailer. And it's very interesting because this movie is also directed by the same guy who did The Invisible Man, Lee Whannell, which Invisible Man I thought was a pretty good movie. I did confirm that they're not going to be like, this is not their fourth attempt to try and do their movie monster franchise. This is just because he's directing it doesn't mean it's connected to Invisible Man. It looks like they're standalones, and I'm happy for that because they tried so many times in the past decade and it's failed every single time. But you guys, let's start off with Addie. You saw the trailer.
I did.
This looks awesome.
Yes, it does. It looks so good. I mean, I know that like the Wolfman is like a already created thing, but like we're finally getting to a place where we're like creating something new again. I'm not gonna keep going on sequels and stuff like that, but like we're creating something new. Like I'm so excited to see this. It looks so
different,
creepy, and just I don't know. I wanna see something that like actually fills me with dread. Nothing that just like boo, and then it's like, oh, okay. But like, I'm really excited for this.
And that's what made me happy that Lee Winnell came on, because I thought Invisible Man was a great job. It did a great job on modernizing the idea of Invisible Man.
Yeah.
How it did so. So I'm curious to see how he does it with Wolfman. If they're actually going to be a werewolf, or if it's going to be some different thing. I'm not sure. What about you guys? Let's start off with you, Isaiah. What do you think?
Well, I saw the trailer, and I got excited for it. I feel like I got more excited reading into more who was creating it.
Yeah.
I think the same guy who made Invisible Man also made the original Saw, if I'm not mistaken. Is it
that was
not?
James
James Wan created the original Saw.
Okay.
I'll double check for you what else he's done for you, but go ahead.
I think I also read somewhere that the guy who made American Werewolf in London could also be making the Wolfman special effects, which I also heard. I don't know, but I was reading about that.
You were half correct.
Half, okay.
Lee Winnell wrote Saw.
Okay, yeah.
He wrote Saw, the short film with James Wan, and then he wrote it for James Wan. He actually wrote Saw 1, 2, and 3. He wrote Dead Silence. He's written a lot of, he wrote Insidious. He's written a lot of stuff. And his actual directorial debut was in Insidious Chapter 3. That was his directorial debut. And then he eventually went on to do Upgrade, Invisible Man, and now Wolfman. So Upgrade 2 was another great one as well.
Underrated.
Very underrated. Didn't get enough love when it came out. It actually didn't make that much money. But what about you, Noah? How do you feel about this one coming out?
I think The Invisible Man is one of my favorite horror movies of the past few years. I just think it was really innovative, and I was kind of thinking, well, The Invisible Man, that's not that scary. It's just a guy you can't see, but if he picks up a knife, you're gonna see the knife floating. He's not scary. And then that movie was
Elizabeth Moss sold that though.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss is what helped made that terror feel it.
Yeah, no, she did an incredible job, and there were parts of that movie that were just so dreadful. Like whenever there's the chair in the corner, and it's the slight indent in the chair. Anyway, this is about a different movie. I'm really excited for this one. I like the concept of a werewolf. I think it's really interesting how every few years we kind of cycle through classic monsters. We've gotten a ton of vampire movies in the past few years, now we're gonna get a werewolf movie, and it might kick back some. We might get a few more werewolf movies, and then we might cycle back to some other things. And I just think that we're due time for another good werewolf movie, and this looks good, and I think it's in good hands. So I would say I'm excited.
Definitely good hands. I'm curious to see how Julia Gardner does. If you guys know, she's also going to be casted as the Silver Surfer for Fantastic Four.
Okay, yeah.
But she was in quite a few other things as well. The Assistant. She was in Sin City, A Dame to Kill, stuff like that. She's starting to come back up again as far as in the horror realm and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see how she does with this one. And then Christopher Abbott, he's a really known actor too. I guess he's going to be playing the Wolfman, quote unquote. I'm excited for it. I thought the trailer was good. It gave you just enough that you needed to feel what I think hopefully this feeling is going to get for the trailer. And it's set to be released. Oh God. I just now realized I should have checked that before. It's coming out January 17th, 2025. And if anybody knows what this is, so far this year it's proven to be less such. But if anybody knows, January is the dumping grounds for bad films. And for studios release all their bad films in January because that's not a very big time for film, because that's right around the Oscar season and everything like that. So I'm just hoping that's just because there was a good slot to put it in. It might surprise us all. We don't know. It could very well be good, and we just don't know that yet. But I always just get weary anytime I see something released. That's a major studio film released in January.
Maybe they're capitalizing on it. Maybe they're nothing good is going to come out, so we'll put our good one there.
That's true. Well, and go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I feel though, because I know this year there was quite a few bad films that came out, but I also feel throughout the year, a film has just been put out and people have been oh, it's terrible, and I'm can you not just enjoy the movie? I mean, I get that we're DMP and we gotta see the cinematography, we gotta really see it from a you know what I'm talking about, in a cinematic way. But you can also you guys were talking about the Beetlejuice movie, you can just sit there and enjoy it, just have fun with it. You don't have to. I don't know. People put a lot of time and work into stuff, and so it just, I don't know.
No, yeah.
That's just me. But.
No, I totally agree, and I I hope it's good. That's all I hope.
I do, no,
It looks good,
do.
but again, that's the magic of trailers. It helps to make it look good, and all of a sudden, it can either go one either way. So, all right, if Jordan didn't have any thoughts, I was hoping to see if she'd bring up her thing, but no, she doesn't have any. That's okay. Let's move on now to the second trailer, Minecraft, which let's just talk about it. So Minecraft's not my thing.
I was going to ask if you had played it. Yeah.
I never really did play it. Some of my younger cousins played it. My godson was religious about it. Jordan is so excited. It has Jack Black and Jason Momoa, which is a very interesting combination. And then Emma Myers and a bunch of other young talented actors. So, Nolan.
Yeah.
We'll start off with you. This movie is slated for April 4th, 2025. And I will say the trailer was good. It's great.
You would say that?
I would say it looks interesting. I don't know. What do you... I don't know.
I've been playing Minecraft since I was in like second grade. I mean, I don't really play it anymore. I think I got kind of bored of it. But I had been playing it for a very long time. I'm trying to be nice.
That? Okay.
And if I'm trying to be nice, we should move on.
Oh,
Good
okay.
cop.
Really?
Yeah.
Good cop out there. Oh, wait, hold on. Addie seems to think otherwise. Now I'm curious.
Honestly, so I don't know if I haven't been playing it for that long, but like I feel like we all kind of grew up with Minecraft, but I don't know. Like it's looking at it. It seems like it's gonna be good in a way that like the scary movies are good. You know, like the comedy of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like those aren't good, but like they're like it's funny. There's a
put
lot
them
They're so
of
bad
stuff.
they're good.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Like honestly, I was hearing people absolutely trash this, like just from the trailer. Probably it was probably you as well, but like
I was so nice about it.
Look-
I didn't say anything.
looking at the trailer, I honestly didn't think it was that bad. I was like, I think this could be so much worse than what it is.
Yeah, I think I just have a couple questions about it.
That's
Like,
fair.
just the way it looks.
Why?
Yeah, or like the cast.
I kind of like the animation style. I think it's really interesting, and like I think if they were gonna do a Minecraft movie, it was either gonna be like fully in-game graphics or something like this. And I was totally okay with those things. Blending it with real people just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, especially when the costumes look the way they do. Because I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, they just gave Jack Black a blue shirt and that's it. And like, yeah, that's true. Steve is just wearing a blue shirt, so that's not that bad. What is going on with Jason Momoa?
No, I don't know. I did see that, and I was a little
he
scared.
looks like something, I'm sure. But he's got this weird wig. He's got this weird pink cardigan thing, and it's Jason Momoa, so he's supposed to be like this kind of Hollywood badass guy. What is that? Because I thought like, oh, maybe it's supposed to be like, because he's got like this outfit on. Maybe he's supposed to look like one of the pigmen in the game. But then the piglins are in the trailer and they're animated. So it's like, it can't be that. It has to be something, because as we know, everything on the screen is done intentionally. What is the intention? I would like to know. And you know, when I watch it, because I will watch it. You know, I'm saying like, oh, the trailer doesn't look great. I'm gonna watch it. It's a Minecraft movie. Are you kidding me? But I hope that there is some kind of answer as to why anyone thought it was a good idea to put him in that.
Yeah.
What about you, Isaiah?
I'll start with the things I did enjoy, because I have some major gripes. The first thing was, I do think Jack Black was a good casting. I do think Jack Black was good. Two, I thought the piglins, that shot was really cool. I love the design of the piglins and that little airship thing coming by.
That's the
really cool. Really cool. Was there a third one? I thought it was really funny how he said, "I'm Steve." That was funny. That was cool. But the art style is baffling, honestly. I don't understand. The animal design really throws me off. I don't understand, especially with the sheep. I think the sheep design is atrocious. I do not like how it looks. And also just all the animals I don't think look good. I think the real actors in it look very awkward.
Yeah.
And also, the other major gripe I had was I'm not sure who the audience is here. Because I've seen a lot of online discourse about this movie is for like 6-year-olds versus other grouping. No, we grew up with Minecraft. This is an integral part of our lives. And this is the audience for it. And also in the casting, new kids, dude, my sisters, my brothers, all the new, like, young people I've talked to, they don't really care about Jack Black. I mean, they sort of do with Kung Fu Panda.
Jack Black's from more my generation.
Yeah, but Jack Black, like, he's not, you know, he's more us. And so that main casting only works for us. They also have a scene where Tasty from Orange is the New Black is like, what the hell? And I was like, okay, so it's more mature-ish, but also the children in the movie are very clearly, like, aimed towards a child demographic because the dialogue is just really not good.
Yeah.
And very awkward and written in a way that very poorly made child movies are made. Yeah. And that's not to like slander kid movies, because I think kid movies can be very mature and very well done. This is just doesn't seem to be one of them. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people go, it's a kid's movie. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to make sense.
So if this helps, the person who's directing this did Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, and Mastermind.
What?
Okay.
Okay, now I guess we don't really have a excuse.
So the reason I said it looked okay, because this movie can go one of two ways. It can either be like Mario or Jumanji, and it could surprise us, or it can go like, I don't know if you guys remember the movie Pixels back in 2016.
I loved Pixels.
That movie's horrible.
No, it's bad. It's bad. I loved it though.
So it can either go one of two ways. It can go Pixels route, or it can go like Jumanji, Detective Pikachu, and stuff like go that route. It could actually be good and surprise us. But that's that's what trailers do. That's why I was like, I got the feel more from a Super Mario Brothers feel. Yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Even though this isn't my thing, I'm still gonna watch it and whatnot, and talk about it and whatever. But it just, at least that gives you some idea of the director, what he's done so far. So that gives you guys some hope, I guess. So.
It really reminds me of the when the Sonic trailer first dropped.
That's what I was just about to say.
Sonic Route 2. That's the other thing.
Which I just to like very quickly, then we can move on. Yeah. I don't think there's one of those things where they can fix it in the same way.
It's too late.
No. It's too late.
And there's too much.
And there's probably too much done.
Yep.
They're trying to go. They're going to try and get it out when they want to get it out.
Oh, yeah.
So, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be one of those things where they're gonna fix it. They're just gonna animate all the Minecraft characters in. It'll be fine. No, that's not gonna happen.
No, that's true.
They're in there, and
I
hope it's good.
It'd be a lot funnier if they tried.
It would be, yeah.
What do you guys think of this news? Are you excited for a Minecraft movie? Is it your thing? Did you like the trailer? Leave your comments in the section below and let us know your thoughts. I know Jordan's over there shaking her head. She's all for it. I'm curious to hear your thoughts after this. Hold on. We hope to have fun watching it. Yeah,
that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for.
What I was saying.
All right, guys, let's move on here to our third topic. And this is a very interesting one. This is why I wanted to bring it up. According to comicmovie.com, Dune writer John Spatz, I hope that's pronounced his name, he has signed on with Laika to write a live-action sci-fi project for them, which is a very interesting thing to note, is because Laika is only known for animation, it's stop motion and whatnot. So I'm curious to hear, I know a lot of you guys are Laika fans, so I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. We're going to start off with Isaiah on this one. How do you feel about Laika going into live action, but also, what do you guys think it could be, honestly? Because I have theories, but let's go on.
Yeah, I mean, my first impression is I love Laika. They have made very good stop motion. Paranorman, I believe they made Cujo, all those types of movies. Coraline, I believe, as well. So, going into it, I was very excited. I didn't read the part of it being live action. I just Laika and Dune writer. And at first I got really excited. Then I saw live action. I was like, okay, a little less excited about it because, I don't know, I just feel like stop motion animation is very lacking today. Like I saw, the Pinocchio with Guillermo del Toro. I was like, that's really refreshing to bring in. So I was my excitement lowered a little bit, but I don't know, I'm really interested to see what he's going to do. I love Dune. It was one of the best movies I've seen recently. So it's very interesting to me, that kind of combination. I think it's the potential for something really great, but the live action does throw me off. It just seems kind of weird.
Because they've done Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, Corpse Bride, and my second favorite anime movie of 2016, Kubo and the Two Strings. So they did all those. But Addie,
underrated.
I know you're a fan of a lot of those as well. Like entering the live action realm. How's that?
I don't know. Like I don't know if I can say how many like studios have actually done that. Like I mean, I'm sure they've done it before, but I don't know what other studios have done that when it's like they've only made one kind of movie and then they go to something different. But I mean, I'm excited to see like what it is they come up with. I don't know if it. I mean, the films that they have had like are amazing. Like I was telling my sister the other day. I said I honestly can't wrap my head around claymation. Like I just sitting there and being like. And then just doing that, like I actually can't. I would.
The time consumption.
Crazy. I would be done. But I don't know. I think it's kind of neat that they're like trying to do something new. Hopefully that doesn't mean that like they're bored of claymation and they want to.
I hope not either. I was worried about that too. Like I think they're just trying to branch out because I think you're right. The claymation, since there's like new ways of doing animation with like how Spider-Man's doing it and it's like the new fad. And I know Pinocchio didn't didn't get a ton of like hype, I guess you want to call it like that. So I mean, you could be right.
Do kids like claymation anymore?
I have so.
You know what I mean?
No, they like Coco Melon.
Yeah, I don't know. It just.
I mean, my daughter did watch Coraline, and she seemed interested the whole time.
Okay.
So I mean, because I know Tina my wife wanted to get her into watching some of the ones she loved watching as a kid. So she seemed to like it. I mean, I know my kid's just anecdotal, but you know what I mean. So. But what about you, Nolan? How do you feel about like getting into live action? Then I'll start off with you also. What do you think it could be? It's a sci-fi live action, so that's very interesting.
Yeah, wow. I think that Laika has not missed yet. I think that the Box Trolls was the closest thing they had to a kind of a mid movie, and again, it was just
still
mid.
good,
It wasn't bad. It was still pretty good. I think that Kubo and the Two Strings is one of the most underrated movies of all time.
I love that movie so
Criminally,
much.
it's beautiful. It's a great movie. Anyway, back to the point. I think it's strange. I think that if you look at a lot of the skills needed to do something good in stop motion, then I think that it could be very well applied to a live action movie. There's a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of attention to like color and just small things that I think will really elevate what a live action movie could look like. And these animators are used to putting in the work for the best product. So I think that having all that skill and putting it into a medium which might honestly just I'll go ahead and say I think it's probably easier to shoot a regular movie than a stop motion movie. Applying it to that so that they can maybe even apply more of those skills at like a wider level. I'm excited for it. I think it's a weird change of pace, but I think it could be really good.
Yeah.
Because if they keep their kind of signature style and just put it onto live action, that's going to be one of the most like beautifully stylized live action movies ever. So I'm definitely not gonna complain. And Dune screenwriter, I love the Dune movies. I love the Dune book so far. I love the 1984 Dune movie. I'm a big Dune fan, so I think that this is kind of a match made in heaven. I'm excited.
I fully agree. I love the fact that they picked him up. And I did look it up. Laika has also greenlit 2 other live-action films.
Really?
Yeah.
2 other live-action films?
Yeah, apparently a movie called 17 and Crumble. There's not much on them right now, but they just announced the names. They haven't done release dates or anything like that. But it's interesting. There's 3 now movies from Laika who are actually overviewed by Laika that's going to be made into live action.
Interesting.
And I have a theory, and it's just a theory. I wonder if they're not going to go the Disney route and they're going to start live actioning some of their properties.
Yeah, I was wondering if
that would be kind of cool though.
Yeah,
like a live action Coraline or a Paranorman or something. Even though I don't like the idea because
that's true.
Disney has had a very mixed track record with their live actions, and we'll get into that here in a little bit for our discussion of the week. I mean, seeing something like a Paranorman or even a Coraline could be very interesting.
Their character designs are like, I think they're some of the most like amazing concepts that they've come up. Like any other place. Like, I'm not trying to like hate on Disney, but their character designs are just not. I mean, they're okay, but like.
Not as good as they used to be when I was growing up. When I was growing up, they were like revolutionary.
Like I just had. I mean, was Wendell and Wild also one of them? Wendell and Wild.
No, that was
I don't think
yeah,
so.
No,
No, it's not.
Jordan Peele. So I think it was Monkey's Paw that did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Yeah, but even apart from that, but even like Coraline and Paranorman, I don't know. I just think that they're really interesting the way that they make their characters and stuff like that. So I'd be kind of excited to see what they do for live action with character design.
Oh yeah. Very interesting. I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's a very interesting concept that another studio is trying to get into something a little bit different than what they're not used to. So we'll see how it pans out. We'll kind of keep an eye on it for you guys and see if there is any more develops we can possibly talk about. So, did you have something to add?
Well, I was gonna say I did know that they got the rights to a book called Piranesi, which is about this girl who lives in this labyrinth. And so I thought, like, that could be, that's super Leica. Like, if you like Coraline and all of the other things, like, that's super them. And so I thought it was going to be a stop motion. I bought the book. I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited for it.
So maybe that could be it. I mean, we're all speculating here. We're speculating. We don't know for sure,
yeah,
but that could be interesting.
But if that's not stop motion, like, if they don't go the stop motion route with that, it could be one of those, just because they've got the rights to it. It's a pretty well-selling book, so.
Interesting. Guess we'll have to keep track of that one too.
Yeah.
All right, guys, what do you guys think of Leica now joining the live action realm and hopefully still sticking to stop motion? We haven't gotten confirms on that, but let us know in the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Now, let's get into the discussion of the week that I'm kind of excited to talk about. According to MovieWeb, Anya Taylor-Joy did a press segment for Furiosa. And she came out and just said, like, she was asked, if she was to do anything else, what would her dream project be? She wants to play Elsa in Frozen. Now, that's not been confirmed. That she has not, there's not a greenlit, Frozen live action yet. Nothing of that nature. But she says she wanted to play it. And I attuned this to something like what Mahershala Ali did. And Mahershala Ali walked up to Kevin Feige and said, I want to play Blade. Okay, let's make a Blade movie. If you have someone like Anya Taylor-Joy wanting to make one of your properties, I have a feeling within the next few months we're going to get a green light on Frozen live action starring Anya Taylor-Joy. So that got me to thinking with you guys. Out of any property that hasn't been live action yet, what would your fantasy casting be for an actor in that role? I can start with mine to help you keep your minds flowing.
You should.
And I thought about it. I've wanted this for so long. Like, it's been in development for a little while now, possibly for a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic live action film. And there is one actor who everyone's like, oh, Keanu Reeves. No.
Yeah.
There is so much layer. If you guys don't know anything about Star Wars, I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Revan in that one is an extremely complex character who needs extremely complex actor to portray the character. Nothing against my man John Wick, but that's just not him. Have you guys ever heard of Milo? I can't pronounce his last name. He's in the movie. He's the show This Is Us, and he was also in the show Heroes.
Okay, yeah.
I wish I could. Here, let me pull. I didn't get Icarus, our illustrious director today. Still this to do that, but let's go ahead. If we can go ahead and cut to Addie's camera, and then I will try and zoom in on that, and we'll so you can have an idea of who I'm talking about. Go ahead and zoom on that for me, camera. There we go. There you go. This guy. It's hard to see a little bit, but this guy, he was in This Is Us. He starred in Heroes. He, to me, is the best. It's the perfect casting. Thank you, Jordan. Jordan, see, that's why she's my co-host. But he is such an amazing actor in This Is Us. I loved him in Heroes. He has the complexity, I think, to play the character for someone who's light and dark side. That's kind of, to me, is like the ultimate casting, and I wish they would still. They've been rumors of a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic live action coming, has not been announced yet. But if they were to do that, I would, hope and pray that he would be the casting, because to me that's just the perfect casting for that character. That being said, what about you guys? You guys have anything? I kind of threw this on you earlier today when we brought up the topics, but thinking about it, have you guys thought of any kind of like movie that you'd love to see in a casting of that?
Yeah, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be a movie. I think it should be a TV show.
Either it's movie or TV show. Let's go with that. Movie or TV show. That's fine.
But the DC comic run that came out, I think in 2017, written by Tom King. Mr. Miracle takes this kind of like B-team Justice League member, Mr. Miracle, and there's this really deep, interesting story about family dynamics and family trauma and just all these things with this character that was kind of almost a joke before, and I would really love to see an adaptation of that because the comic was so good. I think it's probably my favorite comic book run of all time. Is that Mr. Miracle?
I'm not to read that.
But I think there's some things where he looks so much like Jake Johnson, and seeing him play like the old tired Peter in well, not seeing, but hearing him play the old tired Peter B. Parker in Into the Spider-Verse, I really think he could do it. And I don't want to like typecast him because he's played like a tired old superhero kind of before, but I was reading it and there was one panel where I was like, oh my god, that's Jake Johnson. And since then I was like, dude, I should just write the screenplay for the Mr. Miracle show and send it off to someone.
Send it off to a studio, send it off to
my good old pal James Gunn over at DC. But that's like my one. It's like, if we get a Mr. Miracle, it needs to be him.
Okay. What about you guys, Addie? You have an idea of one?
I honestly have no idea. I mean, I don't really care about sequels, and I really don't care about live action movies sometimes. But is that what you were meaning? Like more of like just adapted to
like something that's being adapted hasn't been created yet that could be like a fun fantasy casting for you for a show or a movie.
I just don't know if I. This sounds dumb, but I don't know if I have a lot of celebrities that I really, really enjoy that I'm like, oh yeah, I really want them to be. I don't know, like. Some of them just kind of are overused and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if I have like a celebrity that I really like. Besides Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, besides him.
What about you, Isaiah?
I mean, when you were talking about Star Wars Revenant and stuff like that, I've always, me and my dad both love the Darth Bane books.
Yes.
And
oh my god, I love those
That's
books. Something
we've both wanted to get adapted for, I don't know, like, we must have read that like 7 or 8 years ago or something. We've wanted that to get adapted so bad, and
Such a good story.
they sort of like showed him in Clone Wars in like one episode, and Yoda just like kills him, and it's like no big deal. But I really want that to get adapted to a live action thing. I think it's perfect for 3 movies.
Yep.
It doesn't need to be a trilogy, just like the books do. And the problem was the actor that I immediately thought of who could play the character of him, because he's Sith. He is an evil character, but it's just kind of it's a slow and logical kind of transition to where he's just kind of like a regular dude.
Yep.
And he slowly gets entranced by the dark side, I guess you could say. The guy who plays Shane from Walking Dead, Frank Castle.
John Bernthal?
John Bernthal.
Wow, that could be interesting.
I really think he could play that role well. And especially like with the Punisher and Shane from The Walking Dead, they're very similar characters, I think, to Bane in a sense.
I can see it.
The only issue is I think he would have to like get super like super buff, and also for some reason his face shape does not look like what Bane looks like to me. The face would be more like what's the guy from what is it? The Marvel series where they're like pirates. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know who you're talking
purple
about.
bald dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
I want his face on John Bernthal.
Yeah. Michael Rooker. Yondu. The dude with the thing and the arrow.
No,
purple bald dude?
Other purple.
Really strong,
He's like,
buff dude.
Drax? Drax.
Okay.
I want Drax's face on John Bernthal.
Dave Bautista?
Dave Bautista.
See, Dave Bautista would be a good casting for him because he's really buff and all that stuff, but again, you need someone with. I mean, he has proven himself lately to kind of get a little bit more dramatic roles, but I don't know. Like again, John Bernthal, I think would be able to kill it.
Yeah.
Who would you cast as Shadow in Sonic?
Hayden Christensen.
It wasn't gonna. Wait, who's playing him for?
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that, and then I saw the trailer, and I was like, never mind. I like that. Like as a hedgehog or.
Live action, but he's dressing up as a hedgehog.
Now I gotta figure this out.
That could be actually a really good one, because John Bernthal has the skills I know to do so. And then if you remember, Shane was bald at one point, so that's what I was picturing in my head. I'm like, that can work.
Yeah.
That can really work. That's a good one.
Dave Bautista, I think, is probably the best wrestler turned actor. That may be a hot take. That's a different topic. But if you saw him in like Knock at the Cabin, he could definitely.
And he was also good in Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah.
The short, small part he was in.
Yep.
Great in that one too. That's what I'm saying. He is slowly showing his acting chops.
Yeah.
You know, getting away from being just a movie star and you being, because that's what he said. He wants to be a actor, not just a movie star.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, not against John Cena. He's a movie star.
Yeah.
He's not an actor.
You know what? If we're talking about Darth Bane and we need a bald guy, just put The Rock in there.
There you go.
Yeah, just put him in. You know,
we just need
Rock
a
for
bald
everything.
guy.
Yeah.
Dwayne
One
Johnson.
movie, just you could cover it. You know, you're good.
Jordan's like, no.
Straight to Disney Plus.
Probably. Oh man. So, if that's it for I think if nobody has anything else, that's gonna wrap us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. What a day to come back. Hopefully Jordan will be feeling better next week. She will be back on here as my co-host. And also just to reiterate, guys, this is going to be happening every Monday now at 5 p.m. So please join us. And starting next week, hopefully, if we start getting them to come in the description box below, you'll find an email address. If you have any questions you would like to be answered live on the show, please email them to the email description box below. We will try and get to those at the end of every single show every Monday here on ReelTime. Again, if you like what you watched here and you like what we provide, hit the like button, punch that subscribe button so you can receive all of our great content we have for you here. Right now, the only show we have going on is D&D. Hopefully, we'll get a few more greenlit. I know there's another show we have hopefully coming on Red Digital called Pester the Professor. That's going to be coming on here soon as well. Some of our shows from last semester are not around anymore, sadly, but we will keep you updated on everything here at Red Digital and join in here by subscribing right there for us. That's all I have for you today. Again, I'm Josh Williams.
I'm Nolan.
I'm Isaiah.
And I'm Addie.
And thank you for keeping it real with ReelTime.